Hi, welcome back to Ace for Addict. For those of you who have returned, I'm really grateful. For those of you who have come across this video for the first time, stick around, maybe go back to book 1, follow it through. Basically, it's a story of my life in active drug addiction. It's all the trauma and the horrid things that had happened. It's not to glorify anything, it's simply to alleviate the hurt and the pain that I've been carrying, and also to give insight to people caring for addicts, to allow you into the mind of an addict, and then also for addicts that are still busy using, just to show you that there is a way out, that there is recovery. 20 years is a long time, and I managed to get out and I managed to stay clean. So keep on watching and pick up some insights, and hopefully these videos will go around and reach somebody and help somebody. Even if there's just one person that gets pulled out of addiction and is able to make a go of it, it'll be well worth it. This is going to be book 11. Book 10 finished off where I'd moved in with my sister after being kicked out of a friend's house because of once again relapsing and messing up. So yeah, I went to stay at my sister. Before I get into the book, I just want to say, and I'm probably repeating myself, but it's for those who never came across it in the other books, that I understand that an addict is very hard to understand. A lot of people don't believe that addiction is a disease and it's simply a matter of having enough willpower to quit. But I'm here to tell you, as a recovering addict, that for us it's not as simple as having the will just to stop. Believe me, there were so many times in my life that I wanted to quit, and I really had the mindset. I thought, this is it, I'm doing it, I'm quitting. But the smallest little detour or little temptation comes along, and we fall straight back into those old patterns. It is extremely difficult to stay on the straight and narrow when you're a full-on addict. When the disease has taken complete control of you. I like to call it the darkness. So yeah, if you hear me say the darkness, I'm talking about my addiction. The darkness took over my life completely. I was void of any type of light, whether it have been light in a metaphoric sense of happiness or light is simply daylight. I'd been robbed of it. I hadn't seen it because of the way we were living. You would know that from the previous book. I mean, we were working nights and sleeping in the day. I wasn't seeing daylight. But for those that are caring for addicts, I know it's difficult, and there are many times that you want to give up, or you are told, tough love is what needs to be practiced. And I understand that. I understand tough love. But tough love to an extent, never push it to an extent where you completely write a person off. Never push it to an extent where you don't want to hear from them, don't want to talk to them, and eventually grow absolutely cold towards them, that you really don't care, or it won't bother you whether they live or die. It's that right there that can be the ultimate culmination of an addict's life. I mean, you not caring whether they live or die could mean that addict that you used to love, that you used to care for, will live or die. It's very difficult. I understand being hurt. I understand addicts that have let you down, maybe family members, maybe a son or a daughter, or maybe a best friend or a brother, that has come into your house and you've welcomed them with open arms because they've promised they're going to be clean now and they're starting a new life, and you go off to work, and when you return, your house is empty and they've stolen everything for you. I understand. How do you forgive something like that? How do you go back to forgiving them? Forgiveness is hard, but forgiveness can also come in stages, and it can also be done over time. Nobody's saying that after an addict lets you down the way that we do. I'm not saying open your arms and bring them back into your home and give them freedom of everything once again just to show them that you care. No, it's not about that. It's about answering that phone call when they've phoned to speak to you. It's about maybe meeting up somewhere that they'd like to meet and just having a chat over a cup of coffee. Those little moments, let me tell you, as an ex-addict or as a recovering addict, those little moments, they count tremendously. We remember them. There's so many things we've forgotten, You know how many things I've spoken about that I've forgotten in the past, and I don't know timelines, and I don't know in what order things go. So we forget. Our memory becomes extremely bad. But those little moments of kindness and those little moments of understanding, we remember. We remember, and within ourselves, when we want to come clean without reaching out to anybody, it's those moments that make us want to actually do it. You know, to know that we were seen as something more than just a drug addict junkie. You know, to know that we were seen as a brother or a sister or a friend, it means a hell of a lot to us. So yeah, that's my plea today, is that don't give up on an addict. You know, please don't give up on an addict. We're all worth it for you to keep on pushing through and trying. You know, and for all the addicts out there, all the guys and the girls that are ever into the drugs and happen to come across this video at some time, just remember those moments where people are kind to you. Now remember those moments and try fight towards it. Fight towards having more of them. You know, never ever give up and think that addiction is your fate or your destiny. There's no such thing. Destiny and fate in addiction, it's not true. It's things that we bring upon ourselves. You know, it starts off as addiction with us using, and when it becomes a matter of we need to support ourselves in our addiction, we're so deep in already that we'll do anything to get hold of that drugs. I mean, all the addicts out there, they know what I'm speaking about. We don't think further than the next drug. So we don't think that right, by stealing this, I'm going to be hurting this person, or by lying about this, that person's going to lose their job. We don't think that far. You know, we think as far as, alright, if I steal this, I can buy a bag of heroin. Okay, if I lie about this, they'll give me 200 rand that I can buy 4 rocks. And that's where our thinking will stop. You know, until we need that next hit, then we'll start thinking again and again. It will never go further than, it'll never get to the consequence. It's something that just doesn't register with a drug addict. So yeah, drug addicts, there's always tomorrow and you can recover. And people caring for addicts, don't give up. So as you can tell, I took a break, try to work out exactly timing of what exactly the things that had happened. Unfortunately, it's still all mixed up, it's muddled up. Even writing it down, trying to work out, I couldn't get that right. But yeah, staying at my sister Debbie was some type of normal at least. You know, we used to have supper together, used to have breakfast together, used to get prepared to watch Days of Our Lives in the afternoons. Every morning she'd put a small letter or a motivational saying underneath my door of my room where I was sleeping. You'll see them on the screen now, they're coming across. I have managed to keep those. The letter from her, the letters I can't seem to find, but I still do have these. So yes, things were pretty normal, and it was a good life. I was quite happy. At this time I did start looking for work again. Obviously I needed to work, I couldn't just stay there. And I managed to find a job at SKF, the bearing company in Boksburg. Because it wasn't so far, traveling wasn't an issue. Sometimes I used to catch a taxi, other times Debbie would take me and pick me up. Eventually again I arranged a lift through somebody at work that would drop me off in the afternoons. So that became quite normal and quite good. I was staying clean, I wasn't really using. While I was working at SKF, I can't remember if I contacted a social worker or if I contacted my sister, but I started fighting to see Jordan. I wanted to see my son. I wanted to become part of his life. And I must say, that's all I ever asked him, is that I wanted to become part of Jordan's life again. I understand now, nobody could trust me, nobody knew if I was going to be clean or be using, so I understand the motives behind everything that was done. But yeah, I did get in contact with somebody so that I could start seeing him. Things were arranged. One thing that I remember was arranged was a meeting with the social workers. You know, with myself, my sister and my brother-in-law, and then there must have been about 4 or 5 people around this table, including the head of social work and other social workers. And we sat in this meeting trying to arrange for a visitation for me. And at one stage, my brother-in-law absolutely lost it in that meeting. He was swearing, calling me a drug addict. He was, he absolutely lost it. And the social workers ended up saying that the main purpose of the meeting is because what they always try to do is bring a biological parent and the child back together. So that was good news for me, as I wanted to start to get to know Jordan. I had missed out a lot in his life, all due to myself. So I wanted to start trying to build things again. My brother-in-law losing it, I don't think helped him at all. But yeah, that happened, and a meeting was arranged. But also, what I remember is there was also we had to be interviewed by a psychologist. I remember this, that I had to get seen by a psychologist. I don't know who it was arranged by, but up to this day I don't believe it was all above board, and I don't believe it was legit, because I had the meeting with the psychologist, and no report was ever sent to me about how the meeting went. And when I eventually contacted them and asked them for a report and asked them, what was the outcome, what was the result of the meeting, I was told, I can't remember now if I received a report or if they would just told me verbally, but I was told that in the social worker's report it was said, or in the psychologist's report, it was said that I was not ready to be part of Jordan's life, but and not that they feel I was not ready, that I had said that I'm not ready to be part of his life. And that was never said by me, obviously I would never say that. So I don't know how that happened or what happened there, but something wasn't above board. Like I say, I do understand the reasoning, man. I understand the reasoning now, but yeah, it even at that time, being an addict, it hurt, and it done a lot of damage to me. I had a lot of contempt for a lot of people, even being an addict. Obviously, I don't want this to make this about me, and I don't want it to be as if I think I'm right. Please, if you're watching, I don't think I'm right. I know how wrong I was. I know the things that I've done. It's difficult. It's difficult because I understand, man. I understand everything that was done for Jordan. But it still hurts. It hurts to the way everything was done. It's terrible. Look, anyway, after that, where I saw I was getting nowhere, my sister and my brother-in-law were asking to adopt Jordan, and I felt like I was lost. I had no way of winning. He was already calling them mommy and daddy. He was already living by them for years. It's all he knew. I didn't want to take that away from him, so I agreed to let Jordan be adopted by my sister and my brother-in-law. I don't know if it was a mistake. I don't think so. I don't know if I would have been any different if he came back to me. I can't say for sure if I would. I had made too many mistakes. I had done too much damage already. I still wasn't 100%. I was still messing up all the time. So I felt it was the best thing to do, to allow them to adopt him, which I did. I wrote a letter to them and asked them both to sign it, just for Jordan one day to explain to him why I was allowing it. I don't know where those letters are because of my lifestyle, but I went ahead and agreed. The day came for us to do the adoption, to sign papers and sign everything that had to be signed. And the funny thing is, while we were sitting there getting this all prepared, the lady, I'm not sure if it's a social worker who dealt with the adoption, but they asked the question, is he keeping his surname or is it changing? I was caught so badly because I was not aware that they could adopt him and he could keep his surname. That would have been one of my conditions at least. I would have asked that he keep his surname, so that under no circumstances could they hide that I'm his dad. But I was caught. It happened so quick. Before I could say anything, they had answered, no, his surname's changing. I didn't have a chance to say anything, So his surname changed, never kept my surname, and then unfortunately, and I know my sister will see this at some time, maybe my brother-in-law as well, but one thing I really didn't like is I named my son Jordan William Simpson. I gave him a second name of my father. My father's name was William, and I gave Jordan his second name, and they felt it necessary to change his second name as well, and they changed it to my brother-in-law's name. Now I understand I was a junkie addict and I wasn't to be respected or liked or cared for or thought of. I understand that, but I had named my son and given him my father's second name. How dare they give him Dean's name? I still don't agree with it up to today, and God forgive me, but I don't agree with it. I think it was wrong, and I think it was pathetic, and I think it was an unnecessary I don't even know what to call it, unnecessary poke at me, and in doing so hurting my father as well. You know, it was really not necessary. But anyway, so I had lost Jordan legally. They had taken him in, they had adopted him, I had lost him. They said I could see him now and then we could visit at their house or something. I don't remember how that all went down, but yeah, so I had lost him. It was so heartbreaking. It had really hurt me. You know, I didn't really know how to handle it, except with drugs.